Alright, y'all, ever wonder where your Second Amendment rights are riding high and where they're barely hanging on? Today, we're counting down the best and worst states for gun owners, from open skies and no sales tax to places where owning a gun feels harder than getting into med school. So grab your coffee or sweet tea, and let's dive into the good, the bad, and the downright frustrating. And hey, if you're in one of those worst states, at least sarcasm's still free, for now. At number 10 of the best, we've got North Dakota. Here's the scoop on North Dakota. This place has winters so cold, my mustache nearly hopped off my face just to hibernate. But guess what's hotter than a jalapeno in July? Their gun laws. Anybody 18 or older can carry without a permit, which is kind of like going commando, except a little bit safer. No firearm registration either. It's basically the state's way of saying, we trust you, partner. Their stand your ground law comes with immunity from civil lawsuits, so if you're forced to defend yourself, you won't have to sell your prized hunting rifle to pay off any court fees. Governor Doug Burgum declared North Dakota a Second Amendment sanctuary, which is like him standing at the border hollering, "Hey feds, we got this handled." North Dakota's all about freedom, so pack your thermals and enjoy the ride. Oh, and watch out for that wind. It's strong enough to blow the fleas off a dog. At number 9, we got South Dakota. This place feels like that real friendly neighbor who carries a coffee in one hand and a shotgun in the other just because. If you're 18 or older, go ahead and open and conceal carry. No note from mom needed. And get this, they've got reciprocity within all 50 states. It's like giving your guns a universal passport. Their stand your ground law is stiffer than my granny's fruitcake, and trust me, that thing has broken windows. Governor Kristi Noem is even trying to axe taxes on ammo and guns, which is about as sweet as finding that extra strip of bacon on your breakfast plate. It's basically a big ol' high five to your Second Amendment rights. South Dakota's saying, y'all come on in. If that's not neighborly, I don't know what is. Now let me just tell you, number 8, Texas is as big and bold as a bull in a rodeo. Constitutional carry for anyone 21 or older means you can stroll around with your firearm without having to fill up enough paperwork to wallpaper the Alamo. They've got reciprocity with 44 states, so it's kind of like your handgun just unlocked the fast pass at an amusement park. And talk about castle doctrine. It doesn't matter if it's your house, your truck, or your favorite recliner, you don't have to budge an inch if someone tries to mess with your space. Governor Greg Abbott signs pro-gun legislation faster than I can burn burgers on a grill. And that's saying something. By the way, throw in tax breaks for safes and locks, and you've got yourself a freedom-friendly buffet. Texas is so darn proud of the Second Amendment that if it had a dating profile, it'd say likes, brisket, big hats, and bigger rights. Number 7, Oklahoma, is the cousin you can always count on to help fix your truck and then crack a dad joke so bad you laugh anyway. If you're 21 or 18 and serving, they'll let you carry open or concealed without a permit. And if you already have a permit from any other state, they're basically like, well, come on in, friend, we've been expecting ya. Their stand your ground and castle doctrine laws are rock solid, so if trouble shows up uninvited, you don't have to roll out the welcome mat. They even protect you from civil liability if you're in the right. Governor Kevin Stitt declared NRA Day, which, man, that just makes me chuckle. It's like proclaiming we love guns, period. Oklahoma's not about frills, it's about common sense and keeping folks safe. The kind of place where if you say TikTok, they'll hand you a clock and a soda. But boy, they do know how to handle a shotgun. Number 6, Missouri, is that old friend who's always saying, I got you covered, and actually means it. Constitutional carry starts at 19, so that's basically their way of saying we trust you, just be smart about it. No registration and no mag limits either. If you need to defend your home, your dog, or your favorite truck, their stand your ground and castle doctrine laws are right there to back you up. Governor Mike Parson is a lifetime NRA member who's also been in law enforcement. Kind of like having a buddy who's both your best friend and your security guard. Missouri doesn't just talk big about the Second Amendment, it walks the walk every day, with that polite Midwest wave, of course. You'll hear folks saying they're proud Missourians, and once you see their gun laws, you'll get why. It's like a warm slice of freedom pie, the kind with apples, ice cream, and a tall glass of sweet tea. Number 5, Mississippi. This place feels like sitting on a porch swing sipping your sweet tea, while grandma knits you a cozy blanket inside, except, well, you're packing a handgun if you want. Constitutional carry starts at 18 and there's no registration, which is kind of like saying, y'all do your thing, we're not going to pry. Their stand your ground law is thicker than my dad's old tool belt, so if someone tries something, you've got the legal right to protect yourself. They even have tax holidays for firearms and ammo, which is basically the Second Amendment version of Black Friday. Governor Tate Reeves blocked any attempts at firearm registries or tracking, telling big government to buzz off. Mississippi's got that laid-back charm where folks smile, wave, and say ma'am and sir, just like it used to be. But these folks also know when to stand firm for their rights. It's like a hush puppy dipped in freedom sauce. So dang good, you'll be coming back for seconds. Well, folks, number 4, Montana, is freedom wrapped in a big old bow of no sales tax. Yes, you heard me, no sales tax. That is like finding out your favorite diner gives free coffee refills for life. There's no firearm registration either, so they're not keeping tabs on what you've got. Governor Greg Gianforte's out here pushing back against federal overreach like he's telling Washington, "This is Montana. We'll take care of ourselves, thank you kindly." It's a kind of state where the wide open spaces aren't just on the land, they're in their laws too. You can practically breathe the freedom in the air, like a cool mountain breeze. And let's be real, not paying extra for your firearms and ammo, well, that's the cherry on top of this Rocky Mountain sundae. Number 3, Arkansas. That's right, it's not Arkansas. This is where Southern hospitality meets gun rights, y'all. No registration, no red tape, just plain simple freedom. They've got reciprocity with 37 states, so you can take your trusty sidearm on a little road trip if you feel like it. And get this, they've got occasional tax holidays for firearms and ammo. That's like Christmas in July for gun owners. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is holding it down, making sure your rights stay intact like a perfectly smoked brisket. Solid and full of flavor. Arkansas isn't just a state, it's a Second Amendment love letter, signed, sealed, and delivered with a big old smile. If freedom were a dish, Arkansas would serve it up with a side of cornbread and sweet tea, y'all. Number 2, West Virginia. This place feels like it's practically gift wrapping the Second Amendment and handed it to you with a bow on top. Constitutional carry starts at 21, and they've gone ahead and nixed sales tax on firearms and ammo. That's right, none, zero, zilch. Don't even get me started on their campus carry laws, which make sure students can protect themselves while hitting the books. Governor Jim Justice is making sure this state stays a fortress for your freedoms. It's like the hills aren't just alive with music, they're alive with liberty too. West Virginia ain't just gun-friendly, it is downright inviting, like a cozy cabin with a fire going and a plate of fresh-baked cookies on the table. If you want a state where your rights are celebrated, West Virginia is singing your tune loud and proud. And finally, number 1, New Hampshire, y'all. This place takes a gold medal when it comes to gun rights. Constitutional carry? Check. No firearm registration? Check. No sales tax? Check, check, and check. It's like every time you think they couldn't be more pro-freedom, they just throw in another perk. They've got low crime rates too, which makes you feel safer than a turkey the day after Thanksgiving. Governor Chris Sununu is keeping the state true to its motto, live free or die. And let me tell you, that motto isn't just a catchy slogan, it's a way of life here. New Hampshire's not just protecting your rights, they're practically throwing a parade. This state is the gold standard for gun owners, folks. You'll want to hang your hat here and enjoy every Second Amendment moment. But alright folks, let's do a pivot on the worst states. Let me tell you, this ain't exactly the list that'll make your heart swell with patriotic pride. These are the states where gun ownership feels less like a right and more like a test of patience. Fair warning, this ain't a feel-good story, but hey, it's important to know where your rights are taking a hit. My hat goes off to all you stuck in these places. Alright, let's just get right to it. Number 5, New Jersey. What can I say? Trying to own a gun here is like writing a college thesis. They make you jump through so many hoops, you'll feel like a circus acrobat. Permits to carry, ammo restrictions, no reciprocity. It's enough to make a grown man sigh. You'd think they'd just let folks be responsible adults, but no, they've got to add rules on top of rules. Governor Phil Murphy's about as pro-gun as a tofu burger at a barbecue. New Jersey might have great pizza, but if you're a gun owner, it's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. Owning a gun here feels more like a chore than a right. Let me tell you, that just ain't the American way. Number 4, Illinois. This place is out here making gun ownership feel like you're trying to smuggle treasure out of a dragon's lair. No open carry, mandatory firearm owner IDs, and bans on certain weapons. It's like they think the Second Amendment's an optional feature. Governor J.B. Pritzker's got enough gun restrictions to make my hunting dog shake his head in disbelief. See, Illinois treats law-abiding gun owners like they are up to no good, and that's just not right in my opinion. You want to defend yourself? Well, you better read the fine print, because this state's got more rules than a Monopoly game with your cousins. If you're a fan of freedom, Illinois ain't exactly rolling out the welcome mat. Number 3 is New York. Even thinking about getting a gun might get you a sideways glance. They've got mandatory registration, extensive restrictions, and duty to retreat. Yep, you're supposed to run away first. What is this, a cartoon? I'm not Bugs Bunny. Governor Hattie Hochul's got her sights on making sure that gun ownership is about as much fun as filling out your taxes. It's a place where the government keeps tabs on everything and your Second Amendment rights are buried under a pile of paperwork. And let's not forget, if you defend yourself, you better hope the law's on your side, because it's about as clear as mud. New York might have Broadway, but for gun owners, it's more of a sad song than a standing ovation. Number 2, California. It's got the sunshine, it's got the beaches and the wine, but for gun owners, it's about as friendly as a rattlesnake in a sleeping bag. Permit to purchase laws, magazine limits, and regulations stacked higher than my laundry on a Sunday. Governor Gavin Newsom's got a knack for turning up the heat on restrictions, and if you're a law-abiding gun owner, you're left sweating. They've got stand-your-ground laws, sure, but it feels like they'd rather you use harsh language instead of your firearm. Owning a gun here is like trying to paddle upstream in a canoe with a hole in it. Exhausting and frustrating. California might have the Golden Gate, but for gun rights, it feels more like a closed door. And number 1, Hawaii. Paradise for surfers, but purgatory for gun owners. They've got extreme restrictions, mandatory registration, and a carry permit process that feels more like a game show where the odds are never in your favor. They even defy federal rulings like they're trying to win a stubbornness contest. Governor Josh Green seems determined to make sure gun ownership is as rare as a snowstorm in Honolulu. Owning a gun in Hawaii is like bringing a suitcase full of sunshine to the Arctic. It's just not going to happen that easily. Beautiful scenery aside, for gun owners, it's about as appealing as a flat tire on a road trip. But that's enough on our best and worst states for gun owners. If you're lucky enough to be in one of the best, congrats, your rights are sitting pretty. But if you're stuck in one of the worst, don't lose hope. Just remember, freedom's like my ex-wife's meatloaf. It takes some fighting just to get it right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell thingy, or check out the next video on your right. Keep your powder dry, your aim steady, and your dad jokes ready. See y'all out there.